Switching gears, in Louisiana, nearly 60 people have walked out of prison after serving decades behind bars for crimes they never committed. Receiving compensation is not guaranteed by the state, and many never receive anything. But there has been some work to change that. Tonight, we take a closer look at what's being done to provide justice for this group of men. As of 2019, 56 people have been wrongly convicted in the state of Louisiana.
No one is immune from being wrongly convicted. This is something that can happen to anybody.
30% of exonerees never receive any compensation from the state, according to the Innocence Project New Orleans.
The point of the compensation statute is to recognize the harm caused by the state and to try to compensate the exoneree for that harm.
Before 2004, when State Representative Cedric Glover passed legislation to compensate those incarcerated for crimes they didn't commit, exonerees walked out of Angola State Prison with
nothing. That was what was so compelling about the issue and why it screamed for something to be done.
Michael Williams and Calvin Willis both spent more than 20 years behind bars before DNA evidence freed them. And that's what motivated Glover to take action.
A bus ticket and $10. I think the same thing for Michael Williams and for everyone else.
His legislation was modeled after the state of Texas, which granted exonerees $25,000 a year. After receiving pushback, Louisiana lawmakers reached a compromise of $10,000 a year in compensation with a $150,000 maximum.
By compensating them, that's really the only time the state formally acknowledges that they caused this innocent person to be wrongly incarcerated and took away decades of their life.
One of the biggest challenges for the Innocence Project New Orleans is helping the newly exonerated immediately transition into life after prison.
We know that those few months after they walk out of prison are some of the hardest months they'll see until they can get set up and get compensation from the state.
Compensation is not guaranteed. If it is granted, it could take 2 years before they start receiving payments. That's why the Innocence Project New Orleans set up cell phone accounts and help exonerees with housing and create fundraising efforts.
I see firsthand how exonerees struggle to rebuild their lives after they walk out of prison with nothing but the clothes on their back.
Hayes explains 17 exonerees were not awarded compensation, either because they failed to file for compensation in time or because the court did not find their evidence of innocence strong enough. Glenn Ford was one of those cases. It prompted Glover's unsuccessful attempt at the state capitol to get him compensation, but it called into question the definition of factual innocence.
Examining exactly what should be a fair and a reasonable standard of factual innocence.
Some strides are being made in Louisiana. Right now, exonerees receive $25,000 a year for only 10 years, which is one of the lowest compensation rates in the country. Glover says more work should be done to increase that number.
That there's been a lot of unfairness in our Louisiana criminal justice system. There are a lot of folks who are doing time for things that they did not do, but did not have the resources to be able to effectively advocate their case and ultimately achieve their freedom.
This past legislative session, the Innocence Project New Orleans worked with State Representative Ted James to ensure exonerees receive upfront funding for loss of life opportunities like job training. Right now, there are 9 people who were recently exonerated who have petitions pending or have not yet filed for compensation.